Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate Ironman. And last video, we trained smithing up to level 60 so we could get the RD medium diary done. And we got distracted a bit along the way, as we usually do. And we got some other stuff done, along with unlocking all the routes for the balloon transport system, which was kind of a pain since we had to suicide to Zora, but that is part of the experience of playing as an ultimate. I mentioned how level 60 smithing was a very important level, and we are going to be getting into training smithing in just a bit here, but I've been wanting to clean out the looting bag for a while, so we're going to start off today by using up a few items. The first item I want to use up are the lobsters. I saved all these while training firemaking because I originally thought they'd be useful for training Slayer or combat, but as you can tell, I've decided to start with more of a skilling route than the combat route because I can't just do both at the same time and juggle all the items for both. Lobsters seemed like such a good, convenient food to have at the time since I was new to the game mode, but I've already figured out so many better ways to get better food since then. So we're just going to be cooking and dropping these lobsters, and that'll get us a little bit closer to that 70 cooking requirement we need for RFD. Okay, I kind of struggled to find this place, but we got here. They just recently reworked Hosidia's house, which I think looks pretty cool. I like how it turned out. Wait, are there any cute noobs here? You think anyone's gonna like mention the lobsters or like try picking up the lobsters? I hope someone does. That'd be so great. Alright, there's 63 cooking. Okay, the lobsters have been used up, and the next thing I want to do is collect 72 snake grass. And I showed the method in a previous video how I collect snake grass because we don't have the farming requirement to farm it yet. I think the peninsula is actually a bit closer to the bank chest slash the leprechaun guy over here, because before you had to walk all the way around this way and enter in through a door that was like over here, but now there's a little entrance. You just go in straight through here and go straight out to get the snake grass that way. We've got everything we need now to start training herblores, so hopefully we get at least one level, maybe a couple. I've kind of showed before, sped up in previous videos, how I train herblore, but I want to show it right now again because I feel like it's so satisfying to watch. The way I was doing it was I was dropping half my potions each time so that way I could bring a full inventory over to get decanted. But I think if you just run over to, I guess, like decant half an inventory each time, it's a bit less stressful because you don't have your potions on the ground. But I think doing it that way is slightly less efficient maybe. And then each time you get your potions decanted, you need 2 free inventory spaces. So what I should have done is drop 2 random items on that marked tile before I ran over, and then pick them up as I ran back. Eventually, when we get the desert hard diary done, it'll save a lot of time from this process because then you could just pay to have your unfinished potions made from your herbs. Alright, 46 herblore. Okay, all the prayer potions have been made now, and I'm going to go put those in the looting bag once we decant these. And then we're going to start making serum 207s with all these Tyramins. That was one of the main reasons why we did the Shades of Mortone quest, so we could start making those. There seems to be a lot of people making fires in this world, which is really good. That's exactly what we want. As an Ironman, you can pick up ashes from other people's fires, which is weird because you wouldn't think it would work that way, but you can do it. So we're just going to come over here, pick up the ashes, and as you can see, just add them straight into there. It gives 50 XP each, and there's really nothing else that useful that we could be making with the Tyramin potions or with the Tyramins. I'm also going to be dropping these because they have pretty much no use. You can also one-tick these if you line them up properly. You can just do that, and look how fast you make them. Bro, I'm a freaking genius. Watch this. We can withdraw our vials, then drop all these, and then take out the Tyramins. See where this is going? This is going to be so great, so easy. This is so satisfying to look at. You can also AFK and just stand here and let it go by itself, which wasn't always the case. That update was just added a couple months ago with the quality of life month. It's just a lot slower than one-ticking, obviously. It's just the regular speed of making potions. And 47 herblore. That guy just picked up all the serum 207s. No way. I love this game so much. Bro, they sell for 1 GP each on the GE. Look, oh, this guy's picking them up. Look at him. Why does he need the freaking 20 GP that badly? Okay, I'm gonna stop like talking about people and focus on myself, and we're gonna finish up the rest of these potions because this is, oh my, I freaking love the GE, dude. This is great. To be fair, I probably look like a big noob picking up all these ashes. Alright, there's the last of the potions made. Unfortunately, no more levels. But doing this whole process, I know it looks very tedious, but I really enjoy learning about stuff like this, like things that no one else would ever think to do. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together, but once you finally get it, it just feels so satisfying. Now we're going to go and buy some nature runes. Next thing we're going to do is get ice gloves, because in order to use the blast furnace a lot more efficiently, you need ice gloves, so there's no cooldown time. And to do that, we have to enter this place on White Wolf Mountain right over here and defeat the Ice Queen. inside of here. It's an easy fight, it's just a lot of running. The only real requirement to get ice gloves is 50 mining, because there's like a little thing you have to mine right over here to get in there. But beyond that, I think skillers can get it too. You have to do like 1 damage and then recoil the rest of it. But I believe the Ice Queen hits a max of a 10, so you have to recoil with the second account. The Queen is down. There's the ice gloves. Let's get out of here. Got to save the Queen. All right, we're going to suicide to Zora, and these 13 items right here are the ones I want to keep. So I'm going to remember that number 13, and everything else is going to stay in Zora, including the graceful gloves. So I'm going to have the full graceful outfit except for the gloves. And that's because even though we won't get the run restore from standing still, it will still reduce our weight. So when we're running around with all the ores and stuff in our inventory, run won't drain as fast then. Okay, I'm going to buy a bunch of random junk items here, and then we're going to make actually 12 free inventory spaces because we already have the coins that we're getting back. So one more. That should be good, hopefully. I'm still pretty new to doing this. All right, let's claim the items back here. I think that looks right. Yeah, that all looks good. You're here at our home for the next however long until I get bored at the blast furnace. Now I mentioned level 60 is very important, and that's for 2 reasons. First reason being that we can enter this area now with the anvils, and you can't enter here and use the anvils unless you have 60 smithing. And if you came unprepared to smith items, there's a hammer you can pick up right over here. I'm going to try to think about this very slowly as I'm saying it because I don't want to stumble over words, and it could be kind of complicated to explain, at least to someone who's never played an Ultimate before. But with level 60, you don't have to pay the 2.5k fee every 10 minutes that you normally have to pay to this guy once you hit 60 smithing. So that fee is completely waived. And in order to have the blast furnace run for you, first you have to pay that 10-minute fee within that 10-minute period. And then you also have to constantly have money in the coffer, which is consistently taking money away every tick, I think it is, at a rate of 72k GP per hour. However, I believe the way it works is that if you pay this guy the 10-minute fee and then hop worlds, you'd have to pay the fee over again, which is why the method I'm about to show you wouldn't work if you're below 60 smithing. And then also, in order to actually use the coffer and have the blast furnace run by the NPCs, you have to be on a specific blast furnace world, which we are not right now. You can see it says that right now we're not in a world where the workers are present. So for this method, we are going to be starting off on a non-blast furnace world. And before we really get into it and start buying the ores, I'm going to use up these ores I have from the fire making grind. It's not the most efficient thing to do, but I've been saving them, so I figure I may as well just use them up real quick. So we're going to unnote these, put 1 inventory of coal onto the conveyor belt, just like that. And then we're going to unnote our iron and then put 1 inventory of iron on the conveyor belt. Another reason why the blast furnace is really good is because it only requires half the amount of coal per bar. So for example, steel bars normally require 2 coal. If you're using the blast furnace, you only need 1 coal. And then, you know, for mithril instead of 4, you only need 2 coal and so on. Now, watch this magic happen as we switch over to the blast furnace world. As soon as we hop over here, the XP drop goes through, and without paying money in the coffer or anything, we just collect all the steel bars. So when you hop worlds with ores on the conveyor belt, it pretty much bypasses having to have money in the coffer. And because we have the ice gloves on, there's no delay or anything, we just collect the bars right away. And then we're gonna hop to a non-blast furnace world and start smelting these into steel plate bodies. And this is why we have 25, well, theoretically 25 free inventory spaces here, so we could do 5 plate bodies per trip. I guess it's gonna be slightly inefficient until we get rid of these, but like I said, it's only gonna be a few trips. We'll be done with these pretty soon. Now that we have our steel plate bodies, I set up the spellbook filter so the high alch is right over here, so once we have 5 plate bodies at once, I can just spam click it just like that, but right now we're gonna have to do it that way. If you're curious about what my setup is for the spellbook filter thing, this is what it looks like for me. So I'm going to finish up using all these ores, and I will see you back once we use up all these noted ores. Alright, we finally used up all the noted iron and all the noted coal, and it probably wasn't even worth it, to be honest. I probably should have just sold it all to the shop here, and I would have saved so much time between running back and forth, but oh well. Got a little bit extra money out of that. Another tip I have now for hopping worlds is that instead of like having to look for a blast furnace world each time, what you could do, I think it might be a RuneLite feature, I'm not completely sure. If you right click a world, you can favorite it and it'll show up right down here. So you can scroll wherever you want in the world list and easily go back to a blast furnace world. Another thing you could do is organize the worlds by type. So every time you hop to a random world and want to go back to a blast furnace world, if you click around here, you'll see all the blast furnace worlds. But anyways, now that we used up all those noted ores, we could finally make all 5 steel plate bodies that could fit in the inventory now instead of just 4. So I think we'll go to at least level 68, because at 68 is when we could switch from steel plate bodies over to mithril plate bodies, and I'll see how I'm feeling from there. We are starting off with 60 smithing and 67 magic. Hey, 61. Well, I just learned something. If you only put coal in there and no other types of ore, and you hop worlds, all the coal disappears. So if you're gonna be hopping worlds, you always want to put something else in with the coal, or else this happens. All right, 62 smithing, and I was keeping track of the XP for the last half hour or so, which is about how long it took to get this level. So this was me doing it like very relaxed, not focusing too hard, but still kind of trying to do it at least. I was switching between like YouTube and stuff and typing on Discord, but we still averaged over 75k smithing XP per hour and 18k magic XP per hour. But I'm done focusing on the XP rates right now because, as I mentioned before, I don't like doing that. It just feels a lot more forced, and it's not as fun for me when I focus more on the XP rather than just kind of just doing what I'm doing at my own pace. So I guess I'll just see you back at the next level then. We all have our own playstyles, and that is okay. And 63 smithing. The reason why I'm in resizable, if you were wondering, because usually I play in fixed mode, I will show you once I alch these steel plates. When I open up the shop interface and I buy the ores, I don't have to exit out of this interface. I can just click right there on the conveyor belt. So it saves like a click that way, I suppose. Whereas when you're in fixed mode and you trade with him, and you buy the ores, you can't just click out of here. One more tip I have for when you're alching the plate bodies, because it's super easy to accidentally misclick and put the plate body on, and then you may possibly alch whatever body you have on, which there's a good chance it's probably graceful, and you don't want to accidentally alch that. So if you right click the high alch spell, you can click on warnings, and then from there you could set a warning so you don't accidentally alch untradables. Would highly recommend turning that on. 64. I kind of just skipped through it, but 68 magic, the first magic level since we've been back at the blast furnace. 65. 66. Alright, I'm pretty sure you profit doing this, so I'm going to figure out the GP per XP that you get from doing this method. And this calculation is going to assume that you buy the ores from a full stock of 100, and that you buy the nature runes for 225 GP each. Alright, I calculated that each trip costs 3,986 GP, but we'll see how much we get back from the plate bodies. And it turns out when you alch the plate bodies, you get 6k GP, which means each trip you profit 2,014 GP. So if we divide 2,014 by the smithing XP we got, 1,375, this comes out to a profit of 1.46 GP per XP. Yeah, not too bad. So even doing this method pretty casually, you can still expect to profit about 100k GP per hour. By the way, when you hop worlds to go to the blast furnace world, you don't have to stay there for a while. You only have to be there for 1 second, just for the ores to go into the dispenser so you can see that XP drop. Then you can hop back to whatever world you're going to, and you can still collect the bars. And I just like to do that so that way I don't repeat worlds. It makes it easier to keep track of where I'm at on this list. Because if you repeat worlds, you might hit a world you just went to and the ores would be lower and you'd be paying more GP then. 67. Oh, that's it. 68 smithing. Mithril plate bodies are now unlocked for us to smith. That is huge. That is going to be a massive upgrade over doing steel plate bodies. I can't believe we have freaking level 68 smithing already. It goes by so fast here. We're not going to be doing mithril plate bodies today. We'll get into that in the next video because I need to chill for a bit and relax and go to the pond, and we'll do some AFK fishing for a while. So I guess we'll just wrap it up here at the blast furnace in resizable too. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again next time.